On, on the 23rd of October 1991, 18 countries, including Canada, signed an agreement which is called the Paris Peace Accord for Cambodia, which allowed Cambodia and the Cambodian people to come together, to have time to think about reconstructing the country after 2 decades of genocide, the Khmer Rouge genocide that lasted from 75 to 79, but managed to kill over 2 million Cambodians, including my parents. And there were conflict among, it was like a civil war. From 23rd October 1991, with that peace agreement, that is now the foundation for the Constitution of Cambodia, which allowed for the first time in the history of Cambodia to have an election that was sponsored by the UN, an election that over 95, maybe 98% of the people of Cambodia were able to participate freely without the fear of being labeled or being arrested or being, although over 200 people were killed before the elections. That election in 1993, which we call the UNTAC election, gave, since to then until the recent election in 2017, gave the Cambodian people the sense of what it is to have the taste of the fundamental values of human rights, the right to live as a citizen without fear of being arrested, the freedom of expression. Civil society were able to grow. I continue with the Cambodian National Rescue Party, the opposition party, to fight together with parliamentarians, with leaders at the local level, national level, who share the same concerns, the same values, the same principles of for democracy, for human rights, for dignity of our people. And the fight continues until today, which explains the dissolution of the party, which explains the fact that I am in exile. And I am sentenced to 20 years in prison for incitement. I cannot return to Cambodia. I want fair trial, like the rest of us. You know, we want fair trial. We want to return. We are not able to. We went to apply for a visa, as many of us hold dual citizenship. Like Mr. Rangsi is a French citizen. We have other members who are Canadian citizen or Australian citizen, but we cannot return home because we are with the opposition. And we will fight. We will continue to fight. And these personal cases, these individual cases, we bring to the signatories of the Paris Peace Accord as well. We also want to be able to return to face the court. We demand fair trial. At the last case, the first case, we were judged in absentia. There's a new case similar to that. We want to again go back to Cambodia and defend ourselves in court. Although our values, our defense for liberal values, for human rights, for democracy, for rule of law, for social justice remain the same, but our strategies need to be modified because we no longer have a presence inside Cambodia. We no longer can go to every village in Cambodia. We no longer can speak to our people face to face. And I miss that a lot. I really miss that a lot. Now I see myself rolling my suitcase from airport to airport. That is the hardest part of the fight from exile. And I want to stop that. I want to be able to go inside Cambodia, even if I have to be arrested. At least I can be on Cambodian soil. I work very closely with the people who are inside the cells right now, members of our party, because we raise money, and thanks to the diasporas, Cambodian diasporas, we are able to raise money to support the families who are outside, but also those who are inside the cells, because inside the cells there's no water, there's no soap, they are exposed to COVID-19, the spread of COVID-19. They don't eat enough. There is a teenager who is autistic, who is now in jail with his father, and his mother and the other wives formed themselves into a group that called themselves the Friday Women of Cambodia. Every Friday, the women come to either an embassy or to the court to protest, to demand the release of all political prisoners. It breaks my heart to hear the story of those who are inside, who we are from the same party, so we know each other very well. And our party is a strong party because we campaign together. We are really grassroots. And so we know the stories, we know the relationship, we have very strong ties. It's a big family to us. It breaks my heart to know that our members who remain in the cell, they are in the cells, in the prison cells, because they refuse to defect to the ruling party. Consider that commitment, consider that determination, consider that dignity. So I also have a organization called Courage Fund Cambodia, which is to raise awareness about the political prisoners, the prisoners of conscience in Cambodia, to raise funds to pay for their legal representation in court, to pay for the education of their children, because when the family is separated, then the children can no longer go to school. They drop out of school because there's no money, or the parents or one of the parents is busy trying to deal with the court case, or trying to every week come to bring food, bring soap, bring medicine to the parent who is inside the prison. That means that the education of the children is disrupted. So Courage Fund Cambodia, with very small funds, we are able to support all these prisoners up to now, and some of the education of some of the children. My parents were among those in the mass graves in the killing fields of Cambodia in between 1975 and 1979. I was 20, a student in America. When I found out during all that time, I was looking for my parents. When finally Cambodia opened up, there was a genocide that was totally covered, that was not covered by the media, because no one was allowed to go inside Cambodia. When the news came out, we discovered mass graves, the killing fields, refugees running around, hunger, famine, corpses. Then when the news came out, through the New York Times or the media, I realized very clearly that the meaning of freedom, the meaning of human rights, the meaning of a life that is a life that you that's not, it's not about eating right, it's not about a good education alone, it's not about a good shelter alone, it's about the freedom of expression, it's about the freedom of thoughts and the choice you can make for your life, whether to choose your representative, whether to choose to have 2 children, no children whatsoever, even to have an abortion. It is your life. And that life that you want is not a life that is passive. It's a process, it's a struggle, it is not a journey that you go alone just for yourself. It's a journey that you go with others and you continue on that path by creating more and more and more space. That's what gives me the strength to continue on that path for liberty and for freedom, for the choice that I want to make for my life. And now, on a bigger scale, the choice that our people need to make in order to see a better Cambodia, a Cambodia that has a spirit, that has a soul, not a Cambodia that is destroyed either naturally or destroyed because the spirit is gone. You cannot wait until the spirit, the natural spirit, is gone, because that will be the end. There is a moral obligation. Excuse me. There is a moral obligation to wake up every morning and to say the journey is way ahead. The steps must be taken. And as a leader, that step is taken with the same values, which is to defend the freedom. And I can't see myself or others be deprived of that sense of freedom. I would say to the students in McGill that you are very fortunate. When I enter, this is my first time at McGill, although of course I know it's well known as a university. At this moment when I cannot return to my country, when I enter your campus, you enter McGill, the gate, I cross the gate of McGill, I feel that sense of freedom. I see the students in the libraries. I see the student coming with in the backpack. That sense of security. That's the knowledge that you can acquire because it is free. It is your right. Imagine that for students, for youth of your age, for all over the world. How many of those youths cannot even imagine holding a book, let alone sit in a library doing research and protected by law, and have enough funding to support quality education. I think it is important not to take all this for granted. It is important not to only think about Canada. when you fight for quality of education, when you fight for excellence in any field, when you fight to live in freedom, I think freedom is a global, a common denominator, a global wish for all, to especially young people, to have a future that you can be in control of. And that is through your studies, of course, but also through your active engagement in politics.
Thank you very much, Mu Sochua.
Thank you.